Hello friends, welcome back. The objective of this session is exception, types of the exception and user-defined exception. Now let us try to understand that. The first one, exception. Exception is runtime error. Basically in a programming language there are three kinds of the error. The first one is the compile time error. The second one is the logical error. The third one is the runtime or the exception. So now let us understand all the three errors one by one. Whenever you will compile the program, you will write the code and compile the program. At compile time, the compiler might show some error if you have not followed the rules and regulations properly. So at that time, it will show you the compile time error. Something like I have written the wrong spelling of int, that's I space nt, then it will give you the compile time error. This error can be detected by the compiler and you can correct it after compilation and you can recompile. So that's why this is the first kind of the error and that's a compilation error. The second error is the logical error. In the case of the logical error, the compiler will not issue any error, but what will happen is that your program will execute also. You will give some set of the input and you will find out that your output is something different as compared to whatever you was thinking. So that is a logical error. How you can identify the logical error? You will take some set of the input and your expected output is this. You are getting something different output. So it means that is a logical error. And the third kind of the error is a basically exception or the runtime error. This error is not a compile time. So at compile time we will not able to came across that. It's not a logical, it's not a related with a logical. It is basically exception or some thing or basically wanted cases we have. Let us take a for example. For example, we have developed a one program and that program asks the user to enter the file name which is to be open. So entered the name of the file is abc.txt but that file does not exist. Then what will happen? That's the runtime error. Unless and until you will not run that program, you will not came across that error. Secondly, sometime if in that program you will specify the correct file name, program work perfectly. In an exception condition, in a some of the conditions, this will not work properly. And that's why this is known as a exception or the runtime error. If you will not handle it properly, then your entire program will terminate and you will not have any chance to work further. What you require to do is that you require to restart your program. That abnormal behavior of the program is not good. So if you have your program without the exception handling, then it is not good for a industry standard. What you require to do is that you require to provide an exception handling mechanism so that in any case, even in any error, your program should work. The show must go on. So that can be supported by the exception handling mechanism. Now let us move further. There are two kinds of the exceptions, checked and unchecked exceptions. Checked exception in the Java is all those exceptions which require being catched and handled during the compile time. If the compiler doesn't see, try or catch block handling, a checked exception, it throws compilation error. All the exceptions which are direct subclass of exception but not inherited from the runtime exception are checked exceptions. When to use checked exception in Java? All the operations where the chances of failure are more, that is IO operations, database access or networking operations can be handled during the checked exception. The point is that here in a checked exception is whenever you are working on a networking, you are not sure your network will be 100% available. So at that time, it's a better to work on a checked exception. Again, similar such situation where you are relying on some other entity, at that time it's a better to write a checked exception. Here we have assignment. So this is the first program of the exception handling mechanism. But here we have not used any exception handling mechanism. And let us see what will happen. Here we have a class 1, we have a main method, we have a variable, we have a b variable. For the simplicity, we have taken the a and b variable as a fixed value, that's a 10 and 10. You can take it from the user also. Now here we have a c equal to a divided by b. It's a 10 by 10, then it will give you the 1 as the answer. And then we are printing the value of c, that's a 1. Here we have an integer d as an array of two integers, and then we are accessing the 10th element. This is wrong. This is again which element we want to access, that we can take it from the user. For the simplicity, we have hard coded over here, that's a 10. This is also a runtime error. Here we can also have a runtime error, because if the user has entered the value b equal to 0, so at that time the error will happen over here. That's a divide by 0 error, that's a runtime error, and then the rest of the code will be skipped and the program will be terminated. That's a abnormal behavior of the program, and this should not happen. So let us check it. We will save the program, we will go for that. Say exception in thread main, arithmetic exception at line number 9 divided by 0. So the point is that up to this point everything has been done properly, and then at this point we have an error, and from that one the rest of the portion has been skipped, and the program has been terminated abnormally. This should not happen. The show must go on. That is our objective. Even after the error, our program should be in a continuation. So that kind of the behavior we want, and that can be done by using a exception handling mechanism. Let us check it, how we can do it. Now here we have a same program which has been modified by using the exception handling mechanism. We have a class 2, then the main method, we have a and b value, that's a equal to 10, b equal to, let us take initially as a 10. Again it can be taken from the user. Then we have a try block. In the try block, we have to mention the code which might generate the runtime error. At least that code should be available in a try block. You can put some other code also, no worry. So here we have put on that one, and try and catch is a paired one. After the try, we should have a catch. So here we have a catch, and then we have a arithmetic exception. Here we have a arithmetic exception will occur whenever the b value is 0. Fine, because 10 divided by 0 is not possible. So whenever this arithmetic exception will occur, it will skip this portion, what rest of the portion of the try, and then it will try to go for a matching catch. Here we have arithmetic exception and the same catch available over here. So this is a matching catch, and E will be pointing to the one particular object. That object will have all the details of the error, and then this catch will be executed, and then it will print wrong input for B, and what is exactly the error object E will print over here. Here we have again error. Suppose we have a 0, then we have a error. So this portion will be skipped. It will go for the matching of the catch. It's matching, it will execute that, and then it will go for the normal execution like this. And if there's a no error like this, so it will go over here, no error, it will execute the try without any error. Try is completed now, and we have to go for the catch only when we have an error. We do not have any error, we will skip this one, and the output will be this. Now let us try to work for the both the cases, and you can see the output properly. C. Value of C is 1 outside the try and after the catch. It's perfectly executing without any execution of a catch. Now let us go for the 0 over here. See, we have in a catch outside the try, okay, that see wrong input for the B that will be executed, and then outside the try and after the catch will be executed over here. Fine, okay. So this is basically how the exception handling mechanism will work. Now we have one more program, multiple catch. It might be possible that here we have a multiple catch or multiple errors. You should understand that if we have a more than one error, like in our first program we have, let us go back to our first program. Like here, if we have a two error over here, one is this and the second is this. Even though we have a two error, it will encounter the first error and then it will skip the rest of the portion. So will not came across the second error, even though there are two errors. Now suppose if I will do like this, then here we do not have any error. And here we have error now. We are accessing the 10th element. So at this point of time, it will show you the error and the rest of the portion will be skipped. After this, what is the code we have? That will be skipped. So in a program, if there are more than one runtime error, then the program will encounter on the first error only. And after the first error, if there error is there, then it can terminate the rest of the thing. It will not came across the second error because it has skipped that line. That behavior we should understand. Now let us come back to the now third program. Now here in a try, it might be possible like there can be a multiple errors. So how to handle that multiple errors? So here we have a arithmetic exception. So we are writing the arithmetic exception catch. Then here we have a array index out of the bound exception. So we have a catch for the array index out of the bound exception. In a catch, whenever the error occur, whatever you want to do, you can do it over here. Fine. The same thing we have done for the catch array index out of the bound. Now let us take our various cases and how the things will happen. Let us put exactly the case where we do not have any error. So A equal to 10, B equal to 10, and then C equal to A divided by B, no error. So value of C will be the 1. Then here it will do the D of 1 equal to 120 assignment, no error. As there is a no error, no catch will be executed. And then the output will be simply outside the try. Fine, let us check it. See, value of C is 1 and outside the try. Now, let us try to go for the one error like this. B value is 0. So again we have error over here. The rule says that whenever we have an error in a try block, the rest of the portion will be skipped. So this much highlighted portion will be skipped. And it will come out from the try and will try to go for the matching catch. Here we have error is an arithmetic exception. And here it will go for the sequential matching catch. It will try to go for the first this catch. It's matching, yes, it's matching. So it will execute this. And as we have a one problem over here, we have given a one punishment. Then that's all. We will not give a second punishment. We have a one issue and one punishment. Okay, so as we have an error, we have gone for this arithmetic exception. It's matching. It has been executed. Then after execution of the one catch, the rest of the catch will be skipped. This will be skipped. And as the error has been resolved, it will now go for the normal execution of the program. So the output will be from here, the rest of the thing will be skipped. We'll go for arithmetic exception and then we'll go for a outside the try block. Let us check it. arithmetic exception and outside the try. Now let us put, so if even we have a 10 over here for the same case, a equal to 10, b equal to 0. If we will have an error over here, it will not go for this error, so only the arithmetic error will be caught. Fine, okay. Now let us make it at that time. So a equal to 10, b equal to 10, then no issue, this portion will be executed, this will be executed, and then we have an error. Now this portion, this line b of 10 equal to 120, because we have an array of two integers only. We are accessing the 10th element. So this is error. Runtime error has been occurred, and that error is the array index out of the bound exception. So here it will come out from the try. It will, if we have some other coding over here, that will be skipped. It will come out from the try. Will try to go for the matching catch. No, it's not matching. We'll go for the next matching catch. We might have some other catches also. In a sequential manner, it will try to go for the matching of the catch. Yes, it's matching now. It's matching, so it will execute this array index out of the bound, and then it will come out from that, and then normal execution will occur. So now let us see exactly the behavior of the program. See, value of C is 1, array index out of the bound and outside the try.